I'm a sophomore in high school. I'm 15 years old, and I'm just a normal kid pretty much. I hang out with friends on the weekends, and I just hunt with my dad. That's what I do. My name is Brandon Fien. I'm out of Northern California. I hunt the Butte Sink, and I'm just a kid with a camera. When I first picked up a camera, it was probably a little under 2 years ago, and it was just, I found it in my mom's closet. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So what I did was I rode my bike out to a creek to photograph wood ducks, and I just fell in love with it. This is the Canon Rebel XT. I picked this camera up from my mom's closet pretty much, and I ran for this for about 3 or 4 days while I photographed ducks, pretty much. That's all I did. But then I saved up all my money. I saved up $400 and I bought the Canon EOS Rebel T6 with 2 other lenses. This one, the 18-55, it's real cheap, wide angle. Didn't really do much with this, but this lens, I've spent countless hours behind this lens. I've dropped it in mud. I've dropped it in water. I've spent so many hours behind this lens that it's starting to lose quality, and you can feel the dirt and all the sand that's been in this lens. And obviously, having no money at the time, I was 13 years old when I started photography. I'm 15 now, but I didn't make any money really. All I did was go around the neighborhood mowing yards for money to buy camera gear. This is where my passion is. You don't need a high dollar camera to get those really great shots. You could, if you have a passion for something, all it takes is work. That's all you need. I knew I had a passion for photography was when I realized how much time I actually spent in the field. Like, I had loved it for so long and I didn't realize it. So what I would do is I would just ride my bike for 20 miles some days, and I would be like, wow, I really love this. This is what I do. At the time, that was the best thing ever. Like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a professional now. Little did I know that it was very limiting. And I mean, I rode with that thing for a long time. Well, I took thousands and thousands and thousands of photos. My biggest influence in life is by far my dad. I mean, by the time I was 5, I was already out in a duck blind. He would haul me out in the boat. He would haul me out in a little sack, and I would just ride along, coattailing, and some of the best moments of my life were with my dad, just out in the duck blind, just us two.
You know, you always want your kids to find a passion, to find something that they can focus on, that drives them, to make it waterfowl that him and I can share, just kind of in an intimate, you know, kind of organic atmosphere. Man, it's been life-changing. It really has. You know, we could sit there, we can get an argument, or we can go over, you know, missed assignments or grades in school, and even with all that stuff, we always had this to come to, and to kind of put it all behind us. And it's been healthy. It's been life-changing as a father. Brandon's my oldest one. You know, I always told him growing up, whenever you turn 13, it'd be like, hey, I've never raised a 13-year-old before. You know, and then turn 14, I'm like, hey, I've never raised a 14-year-old. You guys don't come with a manual.
Hunting has influenced me a lot in my photography because it's just I like getting the perspective of hunting. Even though I'm not hunting, I'm actually photographing. So what I'll do is I'll get in a ghillie suit sometimes, or I'll throw mud on top of myself, throw mud on my face when I don't have the right equipment. Like, I don't have a big bank account, so I just make do with what I have. I'll grab tules and then stick it in my pants and lay in the mud. I'm pretty lucky to live in California. We have a lot of refuges, and what I do is I will spend hours just in the water or in the mud, just literally on level with all these birds, and it's amazing feeling to be surrounded by like 10,000 snow geese or 20 pintail. When they're in courtship mode or when they're chasing the hen, they do all these erratic movements, and it's hard to photograph, but if you put the camera down and you just watch, oh man, it's something else.
When the light switch went on for him, I started seeing things in a whole different way. You know, it was him getting overexcited over an image that he got, or being able to capture a moment with a camera that we get excited to see when we're out hunting. We even share that, you know, it doesn't have to be in the duck blind. It could be him going over his images and he's getting all excited, and I hear his feet hitting the stairs, and then dad, check this out, and there it is, you know, a banded duck, or, you know, a hybrid duck, or, you know, a special faced goose that we don't get here in California. Man, it don't get any better.
What drew me into ducks was just the hunting part of it. I had always been fascinated with ducks. I'd always looked in books at ducks. I was fascinated with each feather or the head or the wing, and ducks are my favorite subject matter by far, and that's just what I grew up loving. So I think that's, if I love something, and I obviously have, I don't know, I just love doing it. I think one of my biggest limitations is that my mode of transportation is 100% bike. And I'm lucky sometimes, like my dad will take me out to the refuges or all that, but a lot of it is just by bike because I can't drive yet. Like I'm only 15 years old, I don't even have my permit yet.
What I do to help him out the most is drive him around. I feel like a taxi sometimes, but I tell you what, all joking aside, getting them out in the field, you know. I won't take one thing,
Oh, you're tearing up. He's tearing up.
Shut up. Yeah. But I have to put my glasses on.
Hey, Brandon, you see what this means to your dad?
Yeah.
The only thing I'll take credit for in this whole thing is just introducing them to the outdoors. Grabbing them, toting them out, getting them in the outdoors. What he decides to do with that, it's all up to him at that point. Because no matter what this turns into, if it turns out to be a career, if it turns out to be a hobby, we'll always have this.
My family has been such a great support in all of this. Like, I would not be here without them. If they didn't let me spend all the time I do out behind glass, I would not be the same person or photographer I am today. Right now, I'm just doing photography because I love it, and I think I'll always love photography, but definitely in the future, I'd like to make some money out of it. I'd like to make this a business. My Instagram is like my portfolio for photography. It's like what I like to do with it. I don't really do much. I just post a picture a day, and then I love Instagram for the fact that I can look at all other photographers, and I think that's how I got better a lot, because I would just stare at all these photos, and I was like, okay, I want to take this picture. How am I going to do this? Last year is when I started getting a lot of publicity, and I've never thought my images were good. Like I'm my biggest critique. So when I started seeing all these other people loving my images, I was like, I took a step back and I said, okay, so this is where I am now, and this is what I want to do. Obviously, right now, I'm not where I want to be, but definitely I'm growing fast, and I love that. This is my new camera, my EOS 7D Mark II. This is my baby now. I love this thing. I saved up for a year and a half for this thing, and I just fell in love with it as soon as I got it. It's such a big upgrade from my last camera, my Canon T6. This one cost only about $1,000, but like I said, I'm in love with it. I think I'll always have a love for photography, so I obviously want to make this my job or my business. So right now I'm not looking to make any money out of it, but definitely in the future I want to make some long-term relationships with different companies. My passion for waterfowl and the outdoors has brought me to some pretty incredible places, and I hope that this can keep going for the rest of my life. I hope. The people that I've met and the people that I've talked to they made me such a better person. They've supported me, they've influenced me, they've taught me. They've done so many things. Just having great people around me it's amazing. It's something special.
Anything else you'd like to say?
I need a tissue. Good night. I was crying because I finally had a dog that was quiet.